please join me in a warm welcome to our friend with "We Need Brett." We need Brett. We need Brett. We need Brett. We need Brett. We need Brett.
Thank you all very much. I can't thank you enough for that very kind introduction. Keith, you did a terrific job. Thanks for being such a great friend. Kathy, thank you. She's been a mentor for many of us in this room, and I am no different. And I just want to thank you for everything that you've done for me and just for being here today. And you can't mention Keith and Kathy and not mention Candy. Where is Candy? There's Candy right behind. Candy, you really are the heart and soul of the Republican Party, and I just want to say thanks. I appreciate it. Rick was over there before. I just want to make sure he understands that we very much appreciate the opportunity to be here today. He does such a terrific job for conservatives all across the state, helping us get our message out in this venue. It's a wonderful place, and he's got a lot of ideas in store for the future. So, Rick, thank you very much. I appreciate you all being here as well. As you all know, in September, I took out papers for the office of Lieutenant Governor, because I wanted to explore the idea of traveling across this state and talking to people to see if they shared the same vision that I share for this great state. Since September, I have traveled to every single inch of this state. I've met many wonderful, hardworking people, and I've listened closely as they've shared their stories. And what I've seen is I've seen a lot of frustration. I've seen a lot of anxiety on people's faces in every part of the state. Like the family that I met in Phillips, Wisconsin recently, where the dad was being laid off from his business, and the mom who works for a small business, her hours were being cut back. They specifically told me that they sit around their kitchen table like many people across Wisconsin, and they wonder every day how they are going to pay the bills. And they look at Madison, and they look at Washington, D.C., and they say, why can the government spend more money when we can't? They just simply don't understand. I've talked to countless seniors across the state of Wisconsin, like the woman in Hudson that I sat down specifically and talked with. She said, Brett, I really want to stay in the state of Wisconsin. I love it here. I've grown up here. I want to watch my grandkids as they grow. I want to be part of our community here in Hudson, but I can't afford the taxes anymore. I just can't do it. Can you help us? And then you have the small businesses that I've talked with all across Wisconsin. Just this last week, I talked with a small business person in Palmyra. And they specifically told me about all the rules and red tape that Madison has been putting on them that has been getting in the way of job growth and economic development in our state. It's these stories, and stories like them. There's thousands all across the state of Wisconsin, in small rural communities and large urban centers alike. People are experiencing challenging times like never before. I know that it's going to take strong, conservative leaders, people like Scott Walker, with experience to get our state back on the right track and put people back to work. And that is why I am proud and more determined to ever to announce to you today that I will officially be a candidate for the office of the Lieutenant Governor to serve the people of this state and get our state back. We need a new kind of Lieutenant Governor in Wisconsin, one that is focused solely on being the leading taxpayer watchdog in the state of Wisconsin, constantly focusing every single day on rooting out the fraud, waste, and abuse that exists all over our system. Yes. We would be here for 2 weeks if I started going through examples of the fraud, waste, and abuse that are happening. But you know the stories. You've shared those stories with me. It is time the Lieutenant Governor steps up to the plate and makes a difference. In fact, every year that I am your Lieutenant Governor, I will cut wasteful spending. I will cut wasteful spending 100 times the cost to run the Lieutenant Governor's office.
Yes, good idea.
That is a $40 million savings to taxpayers every single year. A good and important return on investment for the taxpayers of our state. But to do this job and to do it effectively, you need to have experience to get the job done. And in this race for Lieutenant Governor, as Keith has said, there are 4 very good people all running, and maybe one more coming into the race. But of all those people, while they're good people, and we all know them, I have the most direct experience related to what the next Republican Lieutenant Governor has got to bring to this table. I will not need 4 years of on-the-job training to get the job done. I can hit the ground running on day 1, and I can make a difference. It's an experience that is unique to Wisconsin. I was born here in Wisconsin. I'm raising my family here in Wisconsin. I went to public schools in Wisconsin and graduated from our university system. I worked for our longest-serving governor in Wisconsin's history, in Madison. And I went out to Washington, D.C. with him and served with him proudly under the Bush administration in the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. And I had a terrific experience. But my wife, Amy, and I, as we talked over our decision, we did not want to raise our kids on East Coast values in Washington, D.C. We decided that we wanted to move back to Wisconsin with our family values, the same family values that Amy had when she grew up in Fond du Lac, and the same family values that I had from my parents growing up in Monroe, Wisconsin. So when we moved back here, I got involved in politics and public service and started working in the legislature. Some of you may not know this, I was Senator Joe Lightpalm's chief of staff. The first person after that difficult recount that many of you were working at. I served on Joe's chief of staff and then ultimately ran for the state legislature. Now I've been representing the 80th District in South Central Wisconsin for nearly 6 years. I also work for a private real estate company, Hedman Real Estate Company, in Monroe, Wisconsin. I understand what the small business people are facing as I've tried to grow a client base in a very difficult housing economy. I'm also living in Oregon, and I'm the immediate past president of the Oregon Area Chamber of Commerce. And during my tenure as president, we actually grew our membership to the highest rates in the history of the Oregon Chamber, from 183 members to over 200 members for the first time in our history. And I tell you that because I understand specifically what the small business people of this state are talking about. What they want is something very simple. They want the government to get out of the way and let them do their job. The Democrats are very good about talking about money and spending more of your hard-earned dollars. There has never been a time in our history that there has been a greater philosophical divide about the direction of where the state of Wisconsin and where our federal government is going to go. If you side with the Democrats in this election, what you are saying is that you want higher taxes and you want more spending. I believe that we cannot tax ourselves into prosperity. We can do things that don't cost money. Start to eliminate the rules and red tape and all the bureaucracy that are strangling the life out of small business people and the economic freedoms that all of us as individuals face. If we can cut through that red tape, we can make people of Wisconsin proud again about our government. Now, I can't transition and transform the office of the Lieutenant Governor alone. And that's why I am so proud and so pleased that you are all here today. We are picking up more support than anyone ever thought was possible into this election this early. And the momentum is only going to keep growing as we spread our message and our positive vision about the future and how conservative leaders are going to take back the state of Wisconsin. Please share the message. Go to votebrettdavis.com. Learn more about me. I've had an opportunity to talk with every single one of you in the room. Please go tell 5, 10, 15 of your friends. Invite me over to your business. Invite me into your home. Have people get to know me. Because I am confident that if each one of us can meet every single voter, we will be successful this September and in November. Now, as we transition this office of Lieutenant Governor, and I've been traveling the entire state of Wisconsin, it's difficult to point to any one thing that the current Lieutenant Governor has done over the course of the last 8 years. But what I tell you today is that together, each one of us in this room, it is not just me doing this. Every single person in this room, every voter, every citizen of the state of Wisconsin is going to transition this office into something meaningful, something that people in this state have never seen before. I am so thrilled to be part of this process right now. Let's go out, let's spread the message, and let's put people back to work. Thank you very much.